Okay, so then you all know what I'm talking about when the humans come and they destroy the tree of life. Well, we've all witnessed the detrimental and irreversible effects of deforestation that it can have on wildlife, the people, and the forest itself. My major claim is that the effects of deforestation are more negative and harmful than beneficial and positive. My three secondary claims that I will be discussing are that deforestation contributes to the climate change, endangers species, and adversely affects local communities. Let me first begin by defining a few key terms. Deforestation is defined by the EPA as the human-induced conversion of forested lands to non-forested lands. The EPA has also defined climate change as a significant change in measures of climate lasting for an extended period. My first claim, as previously stated, is that deforestation contributes to climate change. Trees have the capability to stock up carbon in their woody tissues, and when they are cut down, they release carbon into the atmosphere. An estimated 20% of the world's emissions comes from deforestation alone, which is more than the combined total of the emissions from vehicles and aircraft. According to Time magazine, forests store an estimated 3 billion tons of carbon, or the equivalent of 40 times the world's total annual greenhouse emissions. Today, more than 7 million hectares are lost worldwide each year, as stated in The Guardian. This makes our ecological footprint 1.3 times the capacity of the Earth, which means that we are taking more than we can afford to give back. Indonesia, for example, destroys 2% of its forests each year. That's the equivalent of 300 football fields each hour. By cutting down trees, we are not only contributing to global warming and climate change, but we are also contributing to the extinction of animals. My second claim is that deforestation contributes to the endangerment of species. Deforestation may be reversible, but the extinction of an animal is not. It decreases the available amount of food, destroys habitats, and opens up the land for poachers. WWF states that there is a clear correlation between the clearance of forests and the declining wildlife population. And according to the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, if global temperatures increase more than 2 to 3 degrees above the current levels, then one-third of the species will be on the verge of extinction. Forests are not only beautiful to look at, but they are the homes of animals. And when we cut down these trees, where are the species to go? The answer is they go extinct. Forests provide ample amounts of food for its inhabitants, and when the forest is burned down, species have nothing left to eat on, nothing to live in, or nothing to survive on. Researchers at the Wildlife Conservation Society program in Indonesia have claimed that Sumatra is experiencing some of the most rapid deforestation, an estimated 6.7 hectares of forest destroyed in 12 years. Poachers are another threat to endangered species. Deforestation makes their job even easier. Dr. Susan Lieberman, the program director of the International Species at the WWF, said that this fragmentation and opening up of new forest areas increases both access and opportunities for poaching. Deforestation negatively affects local communities. This is my third supporting claim. The communities that surround deforested land do not prosper. Instead, they are placed in danger because of close animal contact, and they also fail to make a profit, and natural disaster risks are increased. Dr. Susan Lieberman also says that the Sumatran elephant and tigers are disappearing at even faster rates than forests are. Animals have to relocate after their homes and food sources are destroyed, and they come into contact with people. Deforestation forces animals to survive on minimal resources, so it is only expected that human-wildlife contact increases. Another negative effect deforestation has on local communities is something called the boom-bust pattern. As seen in Time magazine, the boom-bust pattern is when those who cut down trees for economic gain see an initial burst of prosperity, but then steadily decline until they are back where they started. Researchers have reported that more than 75% of deforested land ended up being converted to pasture, and that one-third of the land had already been abandoned. After the timber is sold and the soil has been exhausted, there is nothing left but empty, irreplaceable space. This is a lose-lose situation. Lastly, deforestation contributes to the alteration of precipitation patterns and worsens flooding. According to Time magazine, riverine flooded forests serve as sponges that soak up excess water, preventing it from rushing into rivers at once. Mangrove forests help to shield local communities from storms that accompany tropical cyclones and hurricanes. Without these forests, local communities are put at more risk for natural disasters. Trees are natural recyclers of moisture to the atmosphere. Due to deforestation, precipitation patterns have been altered in certain parts of the Amazon basin. Much of the moisture entrained by clouds comes from the canopies and forests, and as large tracts of trees are destroyed, so does precipitation. Lack of moisture in our environment means that our environment will be even drier and hotter. The forest provides food and shelter for both animals and humans. It regulates precipitation patterns and protects us from natural disasters. It is beautiful and precious, and the damages that are done are irreversible. Deforestation negatively affects everyone: humans, animals, the environment, and most importantly, our future. Thank you.
You don't have to stand up there. You go ahead and sit down. Yeah, that's just too awkward. All right, the opening is okay. Your phrasing on the proposition is a little complicated because it really seems like it's got 2 or 3 parts in it. But you did a nice job previewing what the supporting points were going to be, although I do think that you're rushing through them a little bit. It seemed like you were rushing quite a bit. My advice to you would be to slow down, except you finished with exactly 6 minutes, so it's a little tough to slow down too much. You might have to do some editing of content there. I'm not sure how much controversy there is on some of the points. I don't think there's probably a lot of dispute that deforestation might have an effect on local precipitation, but worldwide carbon emissions, I think that needs to be developed a little bit more. On the impact on local species, you've got a good explanation, although there's not any quantification that you're presenting on those things. It seems to be very hypothetical on some of that. You did a nice job citing your sources for the most part. I think there were only 1 or 2 times that I was wondering where a piece of information came from, but most of the time you did a good job citing it. Like I said, I think sometimes you're describing what the phenomena is instead of arguing that there is some controversy on it, and I'm not sure that there's anybody who thinks that deforestation is a good idea. The question is it have we been pushed over the brink? Is it something that's irreversible at this point? Or, for instance, is it still widely being practiced and there are inadequate laws about it? I think there might be more controversy on those particular subjects. All right, thank you.